Yo, let me get my shit right, man. Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. Hope all is well. Hope all is well. I'm gonna wait for a few people to get up in here, man. Let me see. Peace and blessings, gentlemen. Peace and blessings, man. Hope all is well, fellas. Hope all is well. You know me. I'm gonna get right into it. Check this out. This is how I look at the situation. Hold on one second. This is how I look at the situation in life. Let me tell you how I bust down life real quick. When I think about life, this is what I ask myself. How is this shit going to benefit me? Right? That's how I look at life. Right? What can I extract from this situation? So typically when I come to you with a video, I'm typically coming with that type of mindset. Like, what can I give these brothers that they could take away from the situation outside of commentary? Now, if I was getting paid to make commentary, I would be in the business of giving you the first take, the hottest take, running around, trying to make sure I deliver the message first. But that's not what I'm here for. That's not what I feel like my purpose is. I'm giving you the fifth take. I don't care about you getting the hottest take. I don't care about if it's a week late. You know what I mean? Because that's not the point. The point is, what can you take away from the situation? What type of red pill knowledge, information can you take from the situation? What are some things that you may need to know that you need to brush up on, right? So I've been sitting back looking at the Jada Will Smith thing. I'm not a chatty patty, bro. I don't like the fucking. I hate that shit, you know? So I'm like, what can I extract from this situation? And then I said, boom, I got it, right? I got it. And that's what I'm bringing you today. Something you can actually use from this situation other than being a chatty patty. You know what I mean? Other than just talking. Like a lot of times with this internet thing, it becomes who can deliver the news the fastest. And if you can deliver the news and be on topic, then you get clicks and views. One day I may become that type of person if it's lucrative for me. But today, that's not a lucrative pursuit. So I'm giving you this uncut shit. When we look at this situation with Jada Pinkett, Will Smith, and the ghost of Tupac, August Alsina, all of this, we have to understand that at the end of the day, allegedly, because I always tell y'all don't listen to women, but allegedly, Jada Pinkett and Will Smith never actually slept with each other. They, they never actually slept with each other. So when we talk about the ghost of Tupac, what are we talking about? What can you take from this situation? See, a lot of times in the manosphere, We look at the physical transgressions of a woman. And then some brothers are wise enough to speak about the mental transgressions, but mental transgressions, quote unquote, make you look insecure. So the physical transgressions is the only evidence. That's the only evidence that a lot of men have. But the first thing I want to talk about is this new show Shonda Rhimes has. It's been out for a minute now. It's not new, but they just dropped a new series. It's called Bridgerton. Now, if you go look at the first episode of Bridgerton, when it came out, they had these personality types. And you had this one guy who was like an outcast, an outlier, right? And this guy had a female that liked him, but it was men that were higher up in the social order that liked her, but she liked him. It was a black dude. I don't know the characters because I don't have the patience to sit down and watch that shit. But he never slept with this woman. I think they slept with each other eventually, but initially he never slept with this woman. He had this woman in the bed playing with herself, thinking about him. That was the kind of control that he had on this woman's mind. So even though they were not physically together at that particular point, he was inside her mind. And that's what we need to talk about today as men. We need to talk about mind control. And when I come with these type of messages, I say, just so it won't get too philosophical, too metaphysical, let me use an example. So this is what I brought. The 48 laws of game. We all heard about controlling a woman's mind, but a lot of y'all don't believe in controlling a woman's mind. A lot of y'all don't believe in it. See, you want to control her body. But it's been said long ago that you need to control her mind. Forget her body. Where her mind is, her body follows. But now the question becomes, how do you control a woman's mind, or how do you control a person's mind? For that, we'll go to my man Pimpin' Ken. Shout out to the P. Let's go through what this brother talking about. He said, get in a 304's head. Control is the soul. Pimpin' Snooky. The life. My first 304, Dirty Red, had 10 pimps before me. That did make her a pro. And she had this game down pat. She said, Ken, if you ask a woman to do something and she acts like she doesn't hear you, or she snaps, what? This is a good indication that she's ready to leave, Dirty Red told me. Smart ass woman, how did you know that? I asked. You ain't never pimped on a woman. There I was, 16 years old, never pimped on a woman, and I was questioning this veteran. She thought for a minute, and I assumed she was thinking, I'm only trying to lace this young ass pimp, and he's getting offended. I was so insecure about what I didn't know that I was getting mad at her for trying to school me. But I calmed down quick, because if I was going to be a king and pimping, I needed that game. This is why I'm talking about being a student. See, if you become a student, You can go in and out of being a follower and a leader. See, he had got on some old leader shit. He like, man, I need to have total control. But when he became a student, it was like, hold up. My position is my position. But right now, I need to wisen up and take this lesson. So that's what he did. He became a student. Finally, she put her hands on her hips and said, Daddy, I'm a woman, or a 304. And that's what we do when we get tired of a nigga pimp. I realized that no one knows what a 304 is thinking better than a 304. So I said, okay, woman, what else? I became her willing student, but I still had to be in control. Dirty Red told me that women almost always lie about an orgasm. I didn't really care whether a hoe had an orgasm or not, but you never know when knowledge will come in handy later. See, a lot of women lie about it. Let's keep going. If you lay down some good D, you will know if it's the real thing, she said. 304 will pant your name, roll over like a puppy, and go to sleep in broad daylight, shaking all the while. Most simps go for the fake and think they can control a woman with the D. But if you allow yourself to be faked out like that, then you are the one who is being controlled by the P. In the game, a P who can be faked out is tender in the zipper, and a 304 will have no respect for him. See, Rollo Tomasi has a book, and he goes around talking, and he talked about women faking an orgasm, right? If you are the type of man, this is a side note, that accepts a woman faking an orgasm, she will lose respect for you, because she will know that you are a certified sucker. Now, if this woman decides to fake an orgasm and you know she decided to fake an orgasm and you call her out or you're quiet about it and you don't get arrogant, then now she's like, this dude is not going to allow me to manipulate him by boosting his ego. See, this is major game right here that she giving this man. Let's keep reading. Another 304 of mine, Ivy, showed me that women have a hunger to shop. And if I feed it, I would eat forever. She loved to shop so much that I could manipulate her with shopping. If she thought about being out of pocket, she knew that her shopping days would be cut short. It actually kept her in line. All I had to have, all I have, all I would have to say was, do you want to go shopping? And she smiled when she felt like frowning. That lesson came in handy when I knocked this other hoe from an old school pimp named Nate. She was a hard working 304. One day she caught a trick for some big money, and I gave her a G to go shopping. As I handed her the 10 crisp $100 bills, she started to cry. What's the matter with you, 304? I said, really puzzled. I just gave you a G. I love shopping, she said, but the guy I used to be with never let me shop on my own. That pimp would buy his women everything from clothes to tampons. He wouldn't let them have a dime to shop on their own. These women inform me that it's the small things in life that count when it comes to a woman. The kind words, or bringing her a gift for no reason, or remembering her birthday, or something special to her, and listening when she talks, those things really matter to them. Most pimps would think you must be out of your mind. Most brothers out here that's not pimps think the same thing. You must be out of your mind. Pimps just don't do that square shit. Y'all will call a dude a simp for something like that, right? Follow me. He said, pimps just don't do that square shit. Pimps never treat a hoe with much kindness. But I took this lesson and made it work for me. Earlier last week, I talked to y'all about being a student. All right. You listen to what they say, you listen to what other people say, and then you make a decision on your own. So he listened to what the pimp said about being hard on a female, and then he was listening to what the women said, and he made a choice. But his choice was still based on him having power. So it was still based on his objectives and his goals. But he was thinking, hey, I can get more bees with honey than vinegar. So let's keep going. He said, it took my pimping to a whole nother level. Unless she feels love for you, a hoe's not going to give you her money for 8 and 10 year stretches. Some men can't stay married for 8 or 10 years. This man is talking about a woman giving him money for 8 or 10 years because he was basically showing her that he paid attention, that she was a human. Now let's keep going. Some hoes some hoes want you to be hard on them. But with others, it's like Pimp C says, you serve vinegar, you're gonna get pickles. The trick is to figure out each hoe's mind. Figure out their mind. I knew one hoe named Jazzy Desi, a 23-year-old All-American snow bunny. She told me most 304s are lost little girls who have been neglected growing up, now living in a woman's body. 304s don't do this because they enjoy turning tricks. Most 304s don't even like sex. They believe a pimp will give them the love and care they didn't have growing up. This is what I'm trying to say, gentlemen, about going to the next level in your mind. See, a lot of y'all are playing the game at face value, the game of life, period. And the game of life is masculine and feminine. And when it comes to the feminine game, right? When it comes to, maneuvering in this word, I said I wasn't going to use that word no more. But when it comes to dealing with life, a lot of y'all are not understanding okay, let's talk about love languages, right? Love languages. He just talked about shopping, right? So for that woman, her love language is shopping. Now, you yourself may say love languages are BS, and I agree when it comes to a man, right? Because a man has to demand respect and get what it is that he wants, right? But when it comes to women, women operate in favor. Women operate in love. So because women operate that way, what most women want is love. The problem that most men and women have is the inability to distinguish the two needs from one another. The man needs respect, but he's caught up in love. When you see a Disney movie, it's not that the Disney movie is wrong, it's that the Disney movie is written for women. And the problem with a lot of guys is they don't get to see the other side of what that actually looks like for a man. What is the love story for a man? The love story for a man is a respect story. What is respect? Respect, let's deal with this. Respect, anytime you hear spec, you really are dealing with an ideal or a vision. Respect, when somebody respects you, that means that they are willing to abide by your vision. That means they are willing to abide by your perspective, right? And so for a man, in terms of being a leader, in terms of having respect, that means that pretty much we talking about a woman being submissive to what you want as a man, right? They don't give a lot of men these stories, so a lot of men end up thinking about love in a feminine way, which is what we want to break you out of, right? And start thinking about love in a masculine way, in the way that we look at it. But just because you start to understand what love means to you. It doesn't make those Disney movies not true. Now, it's not that you are trying to fulfill a Disney movie, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to understand that women need love. And this is what men are telling you, right? And I like to bring the evidence. This is what men are telling you who have dealt with thousands of women. All right. I'm telling you, let's keep going. A hoe does not want to be told the same thing a pimp tells all his other hoes, especially a bottom woman, a bottom bitch. She don't want to be told the same thing. If a woman hear you say the same thing to her, the same thing to her, the same thing to her, see, now let's deal with that. Just because she doesn't want to be told the same thing, it doesn't mean you're not saying the same thing in different ways or doing the same thing in different ways. Because you will find that when it comes to dealing with the archetypes of women, it's not that many different type of archetypes. It's not that many type of different things that women want to feel loved. So you may be doing the same thing, but she doesn't want to perceive it as the same thing because that's going to make her feel like you want some cookie, like you lazy, pretty much. Let's keep going. This is why bottom bitches run off the other hoes. In her mind, a pimp is a hoe's man, and yet she has to work with other girls that think the same thing. You have to remember, use us hoes are women before we are hoes. See, that's what a lot of brothers don't understand. Y'all dealing with these women and y'all see them doing 3 or 4 activities, but they still a woman, right? At the end of the day. So here's the ism. As I have always said, the book on what a hoe will do has yet to be written. You can never really know everything that goes on in a hoe's head. But one of the things that made me such a good pimp was that on some level, I understood a lot about what made a hoe tick hoes. Over the years, I learned some valuable lessons and gained a lot of insight from the hoes I had around me. Knowledge is power, and it's available to anyone willing to really pay attention. When people tell you what they think and what makes them tick, it's to your advantage to learn as much as you possibly can. Ask them what their dreams are and really listen to their answers. Then you can use that information to make your dreams come true. This is what you can use. Out with this Jada and Tupac thing, the most powerful aspect is they didn't sleep with each other. So if they didn't sleep with each other, everything is here. Everything is here between the eyes and the ears. Everything was talking. Everything was charisma. Now, what's funny about Jada Pinkett? What's funny about Will Smith and Tupac is that they have a lot of similarities. See, and Jada Pinkett even said that a lot. They do have a lot of similarities. And if you go listen to Jada Pinkett talk about Tupac, she even said it herself. She said, I wasn't initially attracted to Tupac, right? But look, what I want to do now is I want to play this because on this was on the Red Table Talk, and this is about knowing what makes somebody tick. Listen to this.
I hired a team to orchestrate her 40th birthday. I had hired a documentary team. I traced Barbie's family roots. Her 40th birthday was going to be my thing.
It's going to be a splash.
There's going to be a splash.
I don't know who I dislike. I think I dislike Willow more than Jada. You know what I'm saying? I do. Willow's too much. You grew up Bel Air style off of a lifestyle your pops afforded you, and I don't like her face right now, how she looking. But listen, I'm gonna play it one more time because we talking about mind control. And while y'all can look at it and you can say, you know what, she playing him out, or whoopty whoopty woo, he struck out again. She delivered a powerful message if you a student. If you a student. Now, I don't like that the conversations are public, but let's use this as an opportunity to learn something. So see, what Will Smith just said is very valuable. What Will Smith is very valuable. What he just told you, when it comes to his woman and his woman's mind, that's not what makes her tick. Right? And Will Smith had to check himself on that. And so important, because at the end of the day, gentlemen, like I said, all of these things are things that we can learn from. Period. And the thing is, man, when it come down to women and dealing with women, we have to get to the point where we start understanding the value and controlling a woman's mind, or understanding what make them tick. And here's the thing, it's not something that you declare out loud. It's not something that you broadcast to the world. It's something that you do quietly. It's something that you do quietly. And this is pretty much, like I said, if Tupac never slept with Jada Pinkett, then this is exactly what we're talking about here. We talking about a man who has a woman's daughter writing notes to him that never ever slept. They never even slept together. You see? And so, yes, what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, when we see all these videos and we hear men talking about, how messed up women are, and, the crazy stuff that women are doing, when we hear these type of things, these things are valid, right? Because if you are square and you want to live a square life, and you have a woman lying to you about being a square, you feel the same way as a good girl who gave it up because she thought you were serious, and then you ended up not being serious. You ended up just being a player. Now, everybody will criticize you as a man for sleeping with a woman, misleading a woman. But if you a man and you get misled, everybody's gonna say, bro, you should have had more game than that. You at the end of the day, I just think that's what you need to take away from the situation, right? Not Will Smith being a simp. That's neither here nor there. It's nothing to really, you can learn from Will Smith, but after you, come on, if you see a guy in the park, smoking crack, gambling, drinking 40s, he's already so far gone, right? And that's pretty much where Will Smith is. He's done so many things that is really hard to learn how not to be a simp by watching Will Smith. Period. Oh, let me see. That shit pissing me off, man. There we go. Damn. So yeah, like I said, we look at a situation with like where we talk about just all this shit going on, bro. And all boils down, yeah, it all boils down to mind control. And so if you when you're dealing with women, I think it's just important to understand what makes them tick, what's their motivating factors, right? Let's say you meet a 304 and you're trying to give her monogamy. You'll probably have less success trying to give a 304 monogamy because it don't matter. Monogamy doesn't matter to her. See, when these women talk about being in polygamous relationships, what they saying is that I want one guy to control my mind and I want to control a bunch of other men and I want to control those men's minds. I want one man to control my mind and I want to control all the other men's mind and everything else. That's really what polygamy is when you have a woman that's a down chick and she's really controlling everything, but she love that man so much and that man understands what make her tick. So once again, it's not about just saying, yo, I'm gonna give you what I want to give you. Yeah, you can give her what you want to give her, but is that what makes her feel loved? And if you don't understand what makes you tick, which is respect, then at the end of the day, you're just gonna be giving her stuff, but you're gonna be upset if she doesn't give you what you want back in return, which is what makes you tick. Fortunately, most pimps know that they want money back. But what do squares want in return? Do you want monogamy? Is that what really matters to you? Okay. Do you want what do you want from a woman? If you're not a pimp, what do you want from a woman? And the only way you're going to be able to get what you want from a woman is first you got to know what you want and be firm, and then you got to be able to give her what she wants in small doses, nigga. Scooby snacks. Anywho's, man, if you would like to support my work, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below, and we'll be back in here with more videos for y'all. Peace.